I'll call to order the Strathcona Gardens Commission meeting of Wednesday, August 11, 2021. And we have confirmation of a quorum and looking for a motion to adopt the agenda.
So moved.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Councillor Grenarud, seconded by Commissioner Evans. Anyone opposed? That is carried. Any petitions or delegations? I don't believe so. We'll move on to, is there any business arising from the minutes? Not hearing any. We'll go straight into the staff reports. The only thing I have on the chair's report is I just want to, as I did in the public agenda, give my thanks and appreciation to Ms. Gage on the successful completion of the USW agreement. Great news for Corinne and all of your staff, but all the employees and the public in general. This provides continuity and certainty moving forward for the next couple of years. And so great job. The other thing is, Corinne, what you and your staff have been able to do in the past year and a bit, and to have the amount of activities going on in the facility that are at this point in time. To hear that of the 300 seats or the 70 the season ticket holders for the Storm, 70% of their season tickets are already sold.
Wow.
And they are getting, I think people are chomping to come back. I have been raising the flag of caution that we are capped at 300 until we hear otherwise. And so far, the response has been very appreciative that we got to that point. So just well done all the way around. So just receipt of the chair's verbal report.
Move receipt.
Do we have a seconder?
Second.
Thank you, Cal. Anyone opposed? Motion is carried. Staff reports, Strathcona Gardens ice allocation policy on the proposed amendments. The first part for receipt.
I think Tom's trying to, we can hear you, Tom.
Move receipt.
Mr. Chairman, sorry to interrupt, but I don't believe you've adopted the minutes yet from the previous meeting.
I thought we had a mover and a seconder on that.
No, I believe you went straight from the adoption of the agenda into business
Okay.
arising.
So previous minutes.
I'll move adoption.
Move adoption.
Okay. Commissioner Evans, seconded by Grenarud. Thank you. And now moving down to the staff reports. IA for receipt, Strathcona Gardens ice allocation policy.
So moved. Receipt.
Thank you. Moved by Commissioner Kerr, seconded by Commissioner Evans. And to staff, anything to further to the report?
This, through the CEO and through the chair to the commission members, this allocation policy was adopted by the commission in 2008 and has been used at Strathcona Gardens for a significant period of time. Most recently, and as Andy has alluded to, we hope to get back to some sense of normalcy, and with that, a review of the policy and bringing this forth with some changes is highlighted in this report for your consideration to bring back at the next meeting.
Thank you. Questions from the commission? Anyone opposed on receipt? Seeing none, that is carried. And part B, that the commission recommend the regional district continue its arrangement with All Sports Insurance Marketing Limited to offer third-party user group insurance as part of the Strathcona Gardens facility booking requirement.
Mr. Chairman, I'm sorry to interrupt. I believe you've gone from the first item to the second item.
I am. I'm trying to move on multiple screens. So B is that the amended ice allocation policy be prepared for the commission's consideration.
Move
Right.
B.
B.
Commissioner Kerr, seconded by
Second, Evans.
Commissioner Evans. Thank you. Discussion? Anyone opposed? That is carried. Moving on to Strathcona Gardens User Group Insurance for receipt. First, please.
Move receipt.
Second.
Thank you. Over to staff. Anything further to add?
No, this third-party insurance has been offered at Strathcona Gardens well under COVID. This policy was terminated because of the cost and because we weren't actually allowing for bookings under the restrictions and provincial health orders. And in reinstating this, I wanted to bring it back to the commission's attention to review and make sure that everything was fine from their perspective.
Okay. And commission, any comments or concerns? Hearing none, and a motion to move B.
Move B.
So moved.
Moved by Commissioner Kerr, seconded by Commissioner Gunnerud. And any further discussion? Anyone opposed? That is carried. And on C, for the regional district to continue to explore other options.
Move C.
Move C.
Okay, this would not be for receipt. This is a directive to staff. So it's moving C. Is that Director Evans or Commissioner Evans?
Yes, move C, not receive.
Thank you. And seconded by Commissioner Gunnerud. Discussion? Ms. Correct, pretty straightforward. Any flags coming out in a post-COVID world in insurance that we should be aware of?
No, but it would have been probably a lot harder for user groups to find private insurance at a reasonable cost.
Thank you. So on the motion to continue to explore, is anyone opposed? Seeing none, that is carried. And moving to Strathcona Garden staffing update on over to staff, to the CAO, and then I'll entertain a question on receipt after the report.
So through the CEO, through the chair to the commission members, and regarding staffing, I don't think we're unique like some of the other businesses that around town looking for help wanted, but definitely the 18-month restrictions, limitations have provided some unique challenges for recreation centers across Canada and most locally here in Campbell River at the Strathcona Gardens. Recruitment here prior COVID was a little bit of a challenge, but post pandemic, we are in a bit of a challenge in order to operate at full capacity in a lot of our services that we do provide. Many of the students that did occupy some of the positions of either going back to school, so they're returning into the classroom for their post-secondary studies. They were able to juggle them where we were able to use part-time staff during the pandemic. And in some cases, some staff have moved on when we did not have hours to part-time hours to give people during COVID. We have put up help wanted signs in papers and correspondence. It had been on our marquee road sign for at least 2 months, looking for employment and career opportunities here at Strathcona Gardens. And we continue to take applications in. One of the ones, to give you an overview with the concession, we've had that concession posting and we have received 0 applications for the concession. It is a bit of a challenge in terms of trying to compete for a market that's already saturated in terms of trying to find employees to work. And we're just one of several other businesses that are affected by this post-pandemic work shortage, staffing shortage. So this, at a worst case scenario, I presented some of the scenario for the fall. And I know it goes at odds with how the demand of the community will want to come back to recreation and the services that Strathcona Gardens provide. We're committed to recruiting and working with the senior manager of human resources to make sure that we've exhausted all angles in order to get staff on board to fully open this facility as we go through the transition from a post-COVID in a post-COVID world. So if you have any questions, I'd be more than happy to take them.
Thank you. Questions from Commission?
I have a
Mr. Rocco?
question. Would it help if you could offer more money for the concession?
I think the concession has, to Director Lee, the concession has its unique challenges in terms of operating. It's a seasonal operation. It's limited. The hours of availability where we're most in demand are the weekends, and you would think that that would pose well, but in some cases it doesn't, because it doesn't give further opportunity for part-time workers to pick up additional hours. So it is a bit of a challenge that way.
Okay, thank you. Commissioner Evans?
Thank you. And I'm just, thank you for the report. I really empathize with you because, as you say, it's not unique. We're hearing this, you know, all across our community, and it doesn't matter if it's public or private, it's a concern. Would we ever consider inviting nonprofits to run our concession? Is that an option rather than staffing it ourselves?
Under the collective agreement, running the concession is run by our USWs currently under the contract. Outsourcing it has been presented in the past. At this time, we look to fill it with our unionized workers. We do have one full-time concession supervisor on staff, and to be recalled to that for limited full-time hours. So it is currently operated by the United Steelworkers Union and employs those people.
Okay, so that really that's a really defined role then in position. My only other comment would be that profiling, if we have the opportunity to profile some of these positions, you make the comment that people think that, you know, they might have misconceptions about what these positions are. I don't know if we have the opportunity to profile. I knew doing local stories has really helped attract and retain some workers on some of the major projects in our community. So don't know if that's an option. And then are we able to offer like sort of packaged incentives? So are there incentives like I'm trying to think, recreational incentives or anything that we can do?
Yeah,
I'm sure you've thought of all of these, Corinne. I just read your report and I just thought, wow, if we have to really limit hours, I mean, that may be the reality, but my only comment then would be, do we have a communication strategy to manage that? Because, you know, over promising and then under delivering is going to be a real problem.
Yeah, no, I thank you, Director Evans, for that feedback. Just as recently, talking to our communications department with the regional district, we're looking at those profiling and how we target those groups that we're talking about in the report. So and making sure that we do a media campaign with it so that we target that. We're also looking at running school academies, like advanced aquatic academies, to try to get people involved. One of the challenges that is highlighted in the report was just how these courses were offered during COVID, and that when they were offered during COVID, you actually had to do it within your bubble. And that was a bit of a challenge, as you could well imagine, having to give up another family member's time in order to take it. So that was a bit of a challenge as we go into post-pandemic. We're hoping that the restrictions and things lift so that these courses can run back and we can retain them as per normal. But yes, part of your idea of a communication strategy in terms of the target profiling and where we want to market those will be a part of this as well.
Well, good luck with everything.
Thank you.
Anybody else? That's correct. Thank you. Certainly appreciate the challenges that we have at the gardens, and as Commissioner Evans has alluded to, it's all small business right across the province. And I certainly support that we can only operate and open where we have sufficient staff to do it in a safe environment and safe manner. And if that means reducing hours of operation, then that's what we got to do. I think that's consistent with the newly assigned USW agreement. Getting to Commissioner Evans' suggestion and the discussions around the concession, and certainly knowing that at busy times that can be a real challenge, but also respecting the collective agreement. Would there be an opportunity to maybe engage with North Island College and their food services program for workplace experience? Fully understanding that you cannot replace a union position, but at least it would provide not only some workplace experience, but some added hands during those busy times. So I just put that out there for thought. It's a great program that they have at North Island College, and maybe a win-win opportunity, particularly during those peak fall and winter times when the college term is operating. So I'll just leave that with you.
I see Lori Gage has her hand up, and I'd like her to talk about some of the things from a recruitment process, and maybe she can elaborate on some of the things using North Island College that has been done through our recruitment process and as we move forward. So Lori, would you like to speak?
Thank you. Through the CAO to the chair and commissioners, we've been recruiting actually through the culinary program at North Island College. We're trying where we can to really target the marketing of these positions to where we know we'll have qualified applicants. Failing that, you're going to see the ads more widespread in the local paper. We use the NIAF's job board site. It gets picked up by a number of other job sites widely distributed. It's certainly frustrating. We've advertised quite widely and for such lengthy periods of time, engaged directly with staff at North Island College. So we are certainly open to other suggestions from you. We're really struggling to attract applicants right now.
I don't think we're alone. I think a lot of businesses are having to curtail their hours of operation just because they don't have the staff to support. So must be a nice position to be in to not have to work.
Agreed.
But with that, seeing Ms. Gage, do you have anything further? Your hand is still up.
No, thank you.
No, you're good. Anything else from the commission?
I was just thinking about self-serve. If we can't hire anyone, are we allowed to bring in vending machines again? Like, would the union object to them as much if we can't recruit people? We could at least let people serve themselves, you know, apples and bananas and stuff from a vending machine.
So we do have the vending machines on site. They've typically been in here to help support our services and our nighttime activities, and looking at filling those vending machines. They have been obsolete for the last 18 months, and as all food vending services providers have also been challenged because a lot of the businesses that had vending machines were taken out of commission for the last 18 months in
Yeah.
recreation. So, I mean, they're also a bit of a strategy that we have to work with in regaining our vending services. So we're looking at the contract that we do have with our vending services and what can be supplied through our vending machines currently that are on site but not filled.
Oh.
Good. Well, you have our best wishes to try to fill the holes, and good luck, and thank you for the work that you're doing. So with that, I will call for.
Receipt.
Thank you.
Second.
Anything further? Anyone opposed? That is carried. So now, would you like to adjourn or a motion to move in camera? Or we'll move termination.
Move adjournment. Or move termination.
Second,
Mr. Chairman,
No, I think Mr. Yates is going to correct me. I think we need to move.
yes, Mr. Chairman, I believe if you're going to have a closed session after the public meeting, you need to actually make a motion to that effect while in the public session. And we do have a staff report on the agenda to kind of guide the commission in that.
So if somebody wants to move OA, and then we'll move OB.
I'll
And
move
then
OA, that the report from the Chief Administrative Officer be received.
second, and
Second.
Okay, anybody opposed? That's carried. And B?
I'll move that a closed session be held following termination of the public meeting to consider matters deemed to fall within the parameters of subsection 91C, K, N, O, and 92B of the Community Charter.
Second.
Any discussion? Anyone opposed? That's carried. And termination?
Move termination.
And I think we had two at the same time, so I'll let Mr. Yates figure out who's first and who's second. Is there any opposition? That is carried, so we will sign off and sign back on in the closed session. Thank you.